Hey y'all, it's Zoe and welcome back to the video on my channel, or if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. So I can't believe that it's literally already November. Like, that's actually insane to me, and these months are just blowing by. Before I know it, it'll be 2024 and like mind blown. But anyways, November is National Adoption or National Adoptee Awareness Month, and for the past 3 years, this would be year 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is year 5. Sorry, I can't count. I always do my little National Adoption Awareness Month series where on my usual posting schedule, I post all adoption related videos. So today I'm giving you my updated adoption story because my very first of these videos was done in 2019 where I told you my adoption story, but it was like embedded in a video that also had other information. So I'm giving you like my updated adoption story. Yeah. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am adopted, and so this is just going to be a little introduction to who I am. If you've been watching me for a while, you probably already know my adoption story. There have been bits and pieces of like updates to my adoption story in previous videos. You can find anything related to adoption in my adoption playlist, which I'll link down below, but that pretty much has almost everything I'm about to talk about, and it goes into a little more detail if you want to go look for those specific videos. So in my first video, I defined what adoption was and the different types of adoption, so if you want to go look at that, you can. But my adoption story, I don't know, I say it all the time, I talk about it all the time, but it's just like your basic adoption story. I was born in China, down in the south, and I was given up for adoption. I don't really know the reason why I was given up for adoption, but I was placed in a box with 3 layers of clothing on a bridge, and then a man found me and took me to an orphanage, and I was raised there for 11 months until I was adopted to the US. And ever since I was adopted, I've gone through highs and lows for sure. I've adopted my sister. Well, I didn't adopt my sister, but my family adopted my sister. I've definitely had my fair share of adoption related experiences. You can definitely go watch all of those videos about my identity crises, my struggles with abandonment, the hardest things I've had to overcome with being adopted, including being told I should be lucky I wasn't aborted, struggling with my birth parents, things like that. But definitely as an adult, my adoption trauma came out more. So as a kid, I feel like I went back and forth with some of the things, but it wasn't really until I was an adult that I started realizing the impact that adoption has on my life, especially when I was hospitalized, which I do talk about that as well. Literally all this information like you can find in previous videos, which is why I don't want to go into it too much. In 2020, I decided to do a birth parent search, so I did a DNA test through my Taproot, which sadly has closed down, and then nothing really came out of that. So in, I want to say 2021 to 2022, that academic year, we hired a birth researcher to actually go into the provinces with posters and things like that, and not much came out of that either. This is kind of going backwards now, but when I was 17, I found out that I had a potential twin. It is also still not confirmed. A lot of things in my life are not confirmed. I have no answers to them. But that was pretty cool, but it also made me think and learn a lot about the adoption system in China and just the issues and the corruption that can go along with it. And then last year, I was featured in a documentary with one of my adoption friends. because if you didn't know already, I co-run an adoption Instagram account, and some radio journalists found our account and wanted to make a documentary about us. It started out as a documentary with lots of adoptees, and then they decided to just focus in on the two of us and our stories. So you can go check that out as well. You can find it in my videos. And right now, I have just been dealing off and on with identity related issues. A lot of it was triggered by the pandemic. And I'm currently in Taiwan fulfilling a Fulbright grant, teaching English, and that is a whole thing on its own, which I am going to make a video about next week, so stay tuned for that. I still have no idea who my birth family is, no connections there whatsoever. Maybe I'll continue looking for them. I definitely want to go back to China and go back to my province. My orphanage is not there anymore, but I still want to go back. And I don't know, I've also thought about like trying to get my adoption records from the Chinese government, but that's a little hard to do. So yeah, that's pretty much my updated adoption story. I know I didn't really like go into much detail, but I've made so many videos over the past 5 years that I didn't want to just sit here for like 30 minutes. But I highly encourage, if you want to learn more about my story and some of the things that I mentioned, to go watch my videos. The highlighted videos are ones about my struggles, my identity issues, my abandonment issues, being hospitalized, and there's a mini documentary I made with a ton of adoptees that I also filmed myself in, and that also has more of my adoption story in there as well. It's really hard to condense an adoption story because there's so many bits and pieces that go into it, so many little factors. But hopefully, if you're new to my channel, you now know a little bit more about me. And if you're returning to my channel, I just consolidated 5 years worth of videos for you in this one 7-minute video. So I hope you all enjoyed listening. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to comment them down below. I will also be doing a Q&A at the end of the month on my Instagram, so you can go follow me there to find the little question box. So yeah, I will see you all next week. Happy National Adoption Awareness Month and happy November. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. So I'll see you next time. Bye!